Welcome back to the Have Not Room. I am Ben, joined here as always by Chad and Brian to talk about eviction number 4, week 4 of Big Brother 27. It's our second podcast of the week. If you want to go check out, we had Cameron Harden on from Big Brother 25 earlier in the week to talk about his experience on the show as well as the season. But we are back here now to talk about Jimmy being the fourth person to be evicted from the Big Brother house. I think all of us kind of saw it coming a little bit. He had to win the blockbuster. He didn't end up winning it, but yep, that's where we're at.
Yeah, just really disappointing evening, to be honest. Was rooting really hard for Jimmy. I really, really feel like this could spell the end of the entertainment for the season for a little bit, at least, as it seems like, the Vince, Zach, Lauren contingent might be well positioned to run this game. And I thought, hey, at least if Jimmy's there, there's a shot him or Rachel wins HOH. But nope. Now it's all up to Rachel, who I want to believe she can do it. But, we've been disappointed so often. I can't let myself believe now.
Yeah, I mean, the only other option is, based off of the history of the season so far, we get like Zach winning HOH and putting Vince in the block, because that's what everyone has been doing so far, is just like winning HOH and nominating their allies. And every week it feels like it's even stupider than the previous weeks. So yeah.
I am, if Zach wants to do it, who are we to say that he shouldn't?
I mean, look, Rachel has, there's speculation that tonight's HOH comp is the knockout comp that they do, which historically is bad for the people in the minority because they just get targeted over and over again. There's a funny scene in Big Brother 23 where the cookout knocks out all of the non-cookout people, and they just kind of are sitting awkwardly there because they were supposed to be a hidden alliance. But also famously, Rachel Riley in Big Brother 12, when her and Brendan were the house targets and the house pariahs, won the knockout comp in that season. She went like boom, 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 like 5-0, back to back to back. So she's done it before. She can do it again.
I want to believe, Ben. You're presenting a good point. You're making me hope. If anyone can do it, it is Rachel. I want to believe she still has the competitive fire within her, and like this isn't a competition that necessarily needs to be particularly athletic. I mean, she almost won veto, so who's to say?
Yeah, she needs a win now. I think she'd be the most interesting HOH too, unless like a Keanu one. But I think Rachel would be a great HOH now, because this season could get very boring very quickly if things don't start to change here.
Yeah, I think we've been struggling at this up until this point to like really pin down who the most interesting HOH was, because things were so kind of like up in the air and unpredictable, and with how a lot of the HOHs have ended up going. But I think right now, like definitively, Rachel is the most interesting HOH for sure. As Jimmy called out, she plans on putting up Vince, Zach, and Morgan as her nominees, which would be a huge shakeup given that they have correctly identified those three as like the kind of power core of the house. So, yeah.
I mean, is there any chance anyone else would target that side?
I think
Keanu going to win HOH and just capitulate to them? Especially
after this faux kerfuffle that we'll talk about, I think Ashley might have backed herself into a corner to the point where she also will now be forced to make that a similar play. So I think Ashley would be the second most interesting, and then after that, I think there's like a huge drop off as to like what could potentially be interesting. Like Chad said, Keanu, I have no idea what Keanu would do. He's gone back and forth a million times about whether he wants to target Morgan and Mickey or not, and like it's definitely not infeasible that he just puts up like Rachel, Ashley, Kelly, or something like that. So I don't like Keanu is too unpredictable for me to like really hardcore root for him. But it would be fun from a TV perspective to see him get that much power, regardless of what he does. But other than that, I mean, like I don't really trust anybody else to make an interesting play.
It would be very funny for him to just do what the house wants after spending 4 straight weeks as a house pariah.
Yeah, it would be on brand.
It would be, yeah.
Because he thinks that he ran this week, right? So I guess that
shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he thinks that he's a house pariah after like he won that veto and like the subsequent. Like, I think up until the veto comp, you would be correct, Brian. But like post him winning the veto, post the situation with Jimmy getting renommed, and then all of the subsequent situations and towards the end of the week, I think Keanu has gotten back into his brand that he is like in a good spot now. And we even saw it in the stinger in this episode at the end, him basically like trying to coach Rachel on how to play Big Brother. So.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for Rachel that Keanu's there to let her know how to play and what to do. Because what would she do without him?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess we talked a little bit. Like we would took a lot of high like level kind of gameplay talk with Cam on Monday, but we didn't really get into like the nitty gritty of like how did we get here? How did we get to a position where Riley wins HOH, Mickey successfully uses her power to dethrone his HOH, and then she decides to nominate and evict Jimmy, who was one of her closest allies in the house. What series of events led us here? And I know you're coming to this podcast for an explanation, but I swear to God, I do not have one. There is no cogent explanation that can be given. Like I can tell you the series of events that happened, but
yeah, let's get through the blow by blow here.
Sure.
So we wake up, and we
have to go back to week 2, I think, to set the stage.
Okay, all right.
To like,
oh boy,
nothing that happened this week mattered to any of the decision. So
great.
Let's talk about why. Like, if we're going to try to apportion any amount of blame to Jimmy here, I think that the most obvious thing that you can point to as to why he got evicted this week that was his fault was how he handled his HOH week 2.
Okay. And how he didn't really include triple threat in his decision making. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we criticized at the time. Like, that was something that we talked about on the podcast, how he was using that HOH as a way to try to butter up to Kat and Lauren in particular, which is a relationship we also talked about afterwards, relationships that he didn't really continue to nurture in a way that actually mattered within the game. I think that the phrase that I used when describing his HOH afterwards was like he like lit one bridge on fire while half building another one. So he ended up down half a bridge by the end of the week. And I think that like what we see play out this week is the result of him only having half a bridge to work with. I think I'm muted, Brian. Yep.
Oh man. So I think, obviously it's unfortunate. And like, yeah, he definitely should have been like more on top of it, but I just don't see what Mickey sees in the people that she's decided to stab Jimmy and Rachel also in the back for. Like, that's the real disconnect for me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there is a good explanation, Ben.
I think it's a combination of Morgan has a level of blind loyalty to Zach and Vince that is really hard to describe because they're not really showing it on the episode. They're not like they leaned into the Morgan, Lauren, Zach love triangle stuff, but they haven't really like shown the level of control that Vince has over multiple people's games, but in this particular case, Morgan's game, where Morgan spends a large percentage of the week advocating for decisions that are best for exclusively Vince's game. And I think that, like, without really having that background of, like, Morgan is the one pushing this on Vince's behalf, the show has, like, kind of taken this sidestep and are trying to act like Vince was the one that was really pulling the strings here, when in reality, Vince didn't even know what was going on with the nomination up until, like, really close to before it happened. And it was all kind of just Morgan acting on his behalf. So I think that, like, we saw Mickey and Morgan have, like, their falling out, but the show never really gave us the context of them coming back together as a duo. And they kind of just, like, yada over that into this week. So I think that's really the issue, right? Is, like, Mickey is capitulating to Morgan's beliefs. Morgan is playing on behalf of primarily Zach and Vince. And in that process, Jimmy is basically the collateral damage to, like, make Morgan put herself into that position. Whether that's a good thing or not, I mean, we're gonna, find out, I guess. But I don't think it's particularly smart. But we'll see if it at least plays out positively for Morgan. So I don't know if that helped at all.
It definitely did. And, like, I've tried to be kind of even-handed when I've made, like, TikToks and stuff on this week, where it's like, I don't think this is a good move. Maybe it will work out. Maybe down the line, Mickey will, have everything break right, and this will be a good move. We can't officially say it's a bad move yet, but it has all the makings of something that could be disastrous.
Well, I think it's a bad move. I think that if it turns out okay, it would be.
Ben's like, no, we can't.
No, I mean, like, there are scenarios where it turns out okay, right? Like, if, like, Zach wins this coming up HOH, like, and he doesn't put Mickey on the block because she made this move, right? Like, then we're going to look back at it and be like, oh, it was okay, right? It's similar to, like, Lauren last week, right? Lauren's HOH was a complete mess, but because of, like, the way that the HOH, like, Lauren's HOH was a mess, but, like, it was a mess because she didn't accomplish anything with it. And at best right now, she's basically, like, one of Vince's lackeys that he, like, manipulates for his own needs when he like feels the, need to, and otherwise she's completely irrelevant in the house. But, like, that could be a positive position to be in, right? Like, that could drag her down to the final 5, but it's eliminated basically all of her win equity. So, like, it's kind of a similar situation with Mickey, right? Where, like, this might work out in a way where she isn't targeted in the near future, and she is able to kind of, like, ride this position down towards the end game. But, like, I really think that she's kind of pissed away a lot of her ability to have actual agency in the game. Like, if she succeeds further in the game, it'll just be because circumstances around her have worked out, like, luckily for her, and not because she's actually, put herself in a position where she can make decisions.
It just feels like she made this move, like, 6 weeks too early. Like, maybe, like, if you did this later in the game, it would be better, because obviously I think, in the end, Jimmy would probably win over Mickey, maybe. But again, it's way too early to tell. But I don't know. I think eventually Morgan and Mickey would get Jimmy out regardless. But it just feels way, way too early. Like, kind of just a waste of a power that everyone knew, except Riley, that she had anyway. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I just think it needed to be done, but way too early.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say, like, it's definitely a big move to do. Will it matter on September 28th? Like, on August 7th, it's a big move, sure. But we got a lot of game left, and a lot of big moves hopefully are coming, and a lot of games left regardless. Whereas like I don't know how much people are going to care about this in the end game, you know?
Yeah, if we're talking about this strictly as like a resume thing or whatever, which I think is like dumb regardless usually. Like this, like you said, Brian, nobody's gonna remember this. Like there's like so much game to play. This is not gonna be like a deciding factor within a jury vote. Like, oh my god, but remember in week 4, Mickey took out Jimmy. That was such a huge move. Like that really set her up for the game. It's like, okay, well, like what did she do from weeks 5 through 12? And if the answer is like kind of just like float along while her alliance like maneuvered around her, then like that's not really a compelling story. But I think more importantly than like how taking out Jimmy was bad, I think the bigger thing that kind of is getting glossed over because of like how bad like Jimmy in particular was as a target is her not utilizing this HOH to take a shot at Vince, which was like, in my opinion, if she wanted to make a move to like put on her resume and like position herself better, Vince was that move. And it's very weird that like a bunch of people approached her and said that they would want Vince to get targeted. And her response was, but Vince has so many friends that wouldn't vote him out. And it's like, well, but there's like 3 or 4 people coming to you like, hey, I would like you to target Vince. So like, that's not really like, that's not actually the reason, right? When Mickey is saying there are people, they're like, so like Vince has so many friends who would be upset. What she's really saying is Vince is friends with Morgan and Morgan would be upset. That's like the subtext to what she's kind of like alluding to. It's not like that the house would be upset at her for taking a shot at Vince. It's that Morgan would be upset at her for taking a shot at Vince. And like, if she can't sell it to Morgan, then she can't do it. And she tried to sell it to Morgan. They had multiple conversations about it. But Morgan always fought back against it. And I think the fact that Mickey has capitulated to what Morgan wanted, and what Morgan did was spend all of her social capital capitulating to what Vince wanted without even like him being involved at all, demonstrates that neither of them have the capacity to play in a self-serving manner. Like they think they're playing kind of self-interestedly, but they're playing like they're making self-destructive moves on behalf of other people. And they're like kind of rationalizing that as playing selfishly when they're not really. So that's kind of like the way that I see this, like even being worse than just she targeted Jimmy, Jimmy was her ally. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of both the structure of the house and the like actions she took within it in order to try to move herself forward in the game.
Yeah, she gives all the power to the Zach and Vince alliance, and then Mickey completely takes away her own kind of leverage, and Morgan kind of thinks she wins, but it's really Vince's win in the end. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah. But like she even kind of realizes this to a degree because she's talked now in the last day or two about how, she's talked with like Ava, she's talked with like Will, like, hey, we have to target Vince next week. And it's like, okay, like you've come to that conclusion eventually, but like at this point, like who's the we? The we could have been you now, right? Like this is like the whole idea of like it's too soon in Big Brother, and this is like kind of a like a larger like strategy idea with people in Big Brother, where on Survivor, if you have a majority, you can control the vote but like basically indefinitely, as long as you maintain that majority and like you don't turn on your immediate allies and within that majority. Like you could just keep on voting people out as long as they don't win immunity. So like the idea of timing on Survivor makes a lot of sense because you can more firmly control the timing of the eliminations. On Big Brother, that's not the case. The like cadence of the game is decided way more strictly by who's winning the competitions. And trying to like perfectly line up like how the players in the season are doing, like perfectly line up these people I want in jury. I'm going to evict Rachel in exactly 9th place. Like, we need Ashley out in 11th place because she can't make the jury, but we can't do it next week because we need to do Vince next week. So we got to do Ashley in 11th. You cannot control the game. Like, even if you have a majority of the house, even if you have like a 7-person majority alliance, you cannot firmly control the cadence of the game to that degree, like guaranteed. Like, the committee did in BB22 because they.
I was going to say, unless you're the committee.
Yes, the committee did it in BB22 because they won every comp, because they were a 6/7-person alliance that won literally every single comp the entire season. But like, that's an anomaly. Like, you can't expect to do that. Yeah. So like, you can't, like, especially in Modern and Big Brother, or like the Big Brother we've seen the last 2 seasons, where the comps are pretty fucking random. Like, you can't guarantee that you and your people are going to win the comps that you need to make the moves in the time that you want to make them. So you have to take the power and like take the shots when you have the chance. You can't be like, oh, it's too early, because you don't know if you're going to have another chance to do it in like the perfect, time like that you want to, like, you've calculated it out.
Yeah. Also with the blockbuster, like, that just throws another wrench. Like, I fully agree. Take the shots when you got them, and if you fail, have a decent backup plan.
Yep, you just gotta hope that the shot's the right shot, because maybe he took a shot this week, but I don't think we believe that it is the right one.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like I think Mickey understood. Like, I think Mickey convinced herself that Jimmy was a good shot, but then also in the back of her mind knew that Vince was a better shot. But she was afraid of the ramifications of Vince going up and not going home. She was afraid of the ramifications of her relationship with Morgan being, hurt by the move without Morgan's sign off. So yeah, it really kind of feels like Mickey agreed that Vince needs to be dealt with, but she didn't want to be the one to do it because she didn't want the blowback. She didn't want to have to deal with the repercussions with Morgan. So she wants like an Ava or a Will or like an Ashley to win and do it for her, right? But like, is that going to happen now? Like, I mean, it might, but like,
it's a knockout comp,
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible, but like, you're basically mortgaging your game on like random outcomes when you have a reality in front of you that you can actually work with. It's very bad gameplay. It's just bad. It's just not how Big Brother works.
Yeah, I mean, did she even have to use this power this week in the first place? Like,
she did. Yeah, Riley was going to put her up for sure.
I guess that's one good move that she made then. But yeah, I think she'd do this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because Riley, it's funny because like you could maybe argue that she didn't have to from a very, very selfish perspective, because like she probably was target number 3 after Ashley and Morgan. Like, Ashley was definitely the target, and then if Ashley won the veto or blockbuster, then I think Morgan's probably more of a target than her, but like it's close. So like, she could have let it ride, but like that would have been, I think, probably stupider than the move that she ended up making with Jimmy, right? Because it's like completely unnecessary risk, and she would be like also losing an ally and also not gaining control. So yeah, I think she had to make the play to steal the HOH. Sure. I'll be clear. The rest of the play was bad. Stealing the HOH was correct.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. What I'm trying to think, and we probably don't know off the top of my head, and totally cool if you don't either, Ben. What was the challenge that Cliff won in BB21 week 4? Do you remember that?
The buyback one?
No, the he won HOH after that, right?
Oh, he did. Well, the one where with the like Diamond Power veto and like the whole like Christie thing he went back on. I don't remember what the comp was for that, actually. No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if we get a comp like that, maybe Will could clutch it like Cliff did. Not
Mhm.
that week went particularly great for who us as the audience wanted out of the game, but
Oh, Big
I don't know,
Brother
we'll see.
patches. Okay, there it is. That's what it was. It was like a they show you a grid of symbols and then they ask you a question about it.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we have comps like that. It could happen.
I mean, that could be like a knockout. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know if they're gonna like usually for the knockout comps they do like was this an HOH or a veto or in this case probably a BB Blockbuster comp, right?
Yeah.
That's usually what they would do. So they would say like, safe crackers, and then you would have to be the first one of the two to buzz in and say BB Blockbuster.
Which one it is, yeah.
Yeah. That's traditionally how they've done a knockout, but like they could do a knockout that isn't like game memory based and it's more of like a memory on a screen or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, I don't know. I want to not be doomer about this going forward, but
I think it's correct to keep your expectations low.
Okay. Yeah, the episode ended with Rachel crying and getting a pep talk from fucking Keanu, so it was like pretty depressing. Like not good vibes happening right now.
Hey, look, all three of our winner picks are still in after 4 weeks.
That's
pretty
true.
good.
That's true.
Technically, all still in. None of them are good victims, but yeah.
Unprecedented moment. Voting and then trying to take her vote back. Actually is a good segue to one of my big gripes of Big Brother just generally. We gotta stop the shutouts. It's gotta end. Julie needs to put her foot down and be like, just tell me who you're voting for and get out. Like,
maybe cut their mics.
Cut their mics. I can't do it. At least tell them their mics are getting cut or something.
Even not getting as much stipend back or something.
Yeah, you lose $1,000 for every shout out. See how quickly we put an end to this.
Yep.
Am I off base here, guys?
No, 100%. I mean, I've always hated the shout outs, but like it's gotten more and more egregious every season. Like this is horrendous, where they're literally doing shout outs over Julie as she's saying her lines. Like they're like 20 seconds into a shout out as they're like slowly like creeping out of the diary room after they've casted their votes while Julie's trying to introduce the next person. It's almost good that it's gotten to this point because now it feels like Julie is annoyed, which means something might be done about it. Because like before, it really felt like the show didn't care when everyone was complaining about how bad the shout outs were. But like now that they're so egregious with it that they're literally talking over Julie as she's like doing her thing. Like hopefully that is the straw that broke the camel's back that like puts an end to this garbage.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna clip this. Please send this to Julie. Julie, we need it to stop, and only you can do it.
Yeah. It's disrespectful. It's like it's legitimately disrespectful to Julie as she's doing her job, trying to like control the flow of the show, and they're literally like yelling about my cousin's dog. Shout out to my neighbor's wife. Like as Julie's trying to do her thing. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You're right. That's the perfect word. It's ridiculous.
It's way too much. I vote for so and so. Mom, Dad, I love you. Honey, I love you. Done. Get out of here.
No, happy birthday to my niece. Honestly, oh my god, how many people do y'all know?
Roommate's brother.
Yeah. No, it really. It's. I'm sorry, I derailed a little, but I'm passionate.
Oh, yeah, Ashley overdid it today, man.
That was a whole different thing.
Someone do that.
That was funny, at least, and that was unique. All right, I'll give that to Ashley. Like I've been rough on Ashley for this season. I've started to come around to Ashley because like she's kind of campy, right?
Yeah.
Like I think what people expected Kelly to be in terms of like campiness, like what people expected Kelly to get to in terms of like moving all the way around past like annoying and back to like kind of funny. Is what Ashley has done for me because this was so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. So like presumably Rachel, and we don't. The one place in the Big Brother house where there's not a microphone, I guess, is the hallway. So we don't really know what's happening there. But Rachel is working on Ashley to the last moment, which gotta respect it. And then Will undoes it, but then he can't undo it. But yeah, I really enjoyed Julie being like, no.
Look, they wanted chaos on like the whole point of the Blockbuster is chaos on eviction night, right? Like last minute swaps, kind of crazy, like unpredictable. Like this is it. Like this is kind of what you want to get. But like from what should have been like an extremely predictable vote, like I came into this being like Jimmy loses, it's 10-1. Rachel's the only one. She's giving him a pity vote. That's established. Like I did not expect this to happen at all. So
no.
Yeah.
Someone clipped it on Twitter. It was from the moment she walked through the hallway door, it was 1minute and 26 seconds of her voting.
Dude, where she tried to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from her talking to Rachel, voting, coming out, talking to Will, going back in, and then finally leaving before Will sits in the chair. It was like 1.5 minutes. It's just during a live
you gotta
show.
figure at that point, like you close the door behind you. That's it. Like that's closing the urn on the. You can't be like, "Well, Jack, let me just run back up there in Survivor and open the urn and change my vote." Like, no, you close the door. It's over.
Yep. Now imagine somebody does that. That would be that's something that's actually never happened on Survivor, right? Where like we've had people like stay in the booth for like a half an hour, like scribbling out names on the parchment and rewriting it. But we've never had somebody put the name in the urn and close it and then try to reach back into the urn and take their vote out and change it. That would be something else.
Yeah. So
I think
game changers on the next season, 51. Yeah. We need someone to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh. Just so you can be the first, like everyone, like there's very few firsts you can get after 50 seasons of Survivor. That would be a first.
Yeah, I'd be up there with Adam trying to play the podium as an idol. Respect it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this was ridiculous. Like this was like I was kind of planning on just tuning out for the rest of the vote because I thought it would be very obvious, but then this happened. I was like locked in.
It gave me a moment of hope at the very least, where I was like, "Oh, maybe."
No, I mean I didn't have hope because like. They didn't have Zach and Vince, so like it didn't matter.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like they were only ever going to get to 3 or 4. Like that's the thing with like Rachel's last minute pleas to people. It's like, where did she think these votes were coming from? Like she talked to Ashley, Will, and Ava, and those were like the 3 gettable votes. But like that only still gets you to 4, right? You needed 6. Where did she think the 5th and the 6th vote were coming from? Like, was she just like throwing shit against the wall and like?
Jimmy seemed to think that he could get Catherine. Maybe that was one that they.
Yeah, I guess like Riley and Catherine are probably the 2. Like, but
I guess you get Catherine, you get Riley.
Yeah, but I didn't see Rachel. Did Rachel talk to Riley? Like, I saw her like congratulate him when he won, but I don't think she was like, "Hey, congratulations, Riley. Also, vote out Kelly, please."
Yeah. I don't know, but I did think Jimmy's speech was good.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Kelly's. But I mean, in fairness to Kelly, she's been on the block so much. Like, she's probably run through all of it.
She's never given an eviction speech.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right.
Yeah, she's always got herself off the block before the eviction vote. It's the only time she's ever faced a vote. So that's not an excuse. This is her first speech, and it was pretty bad.
I tried to help you, but.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, I guess we could talk about talk about Keanu in this binary bridge competition.
We didn't get to. He crushed that, man. Slow and steady wins the race.
Michael Myers, like
Jesus. Michael Myers, yeah.
Yeah, you guys have. I've thought about different strategies for this because we saw this first last season when it was called Binary Bridge, and then this season you have like the like running from the cops, I guess, because you are. I don't know. I don't really. It feels like the theming on a lot of these competitions is like kind of scatterbrained. We're like, I guess they had like the bad guys like sponsorship, but like I thought the whole premise of the like Hotel Mystere was that they were the detectives. So like, how is it that like in all of the competitions they're suddenly the criminals? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's very the theming doesn't make sense to me. But I thought about the strategy for this, and I feel like I don't know. Tell me if you guys agree with me or not. But like the obvious way to memorize it is like saying left, right, left, left, right, right, left, or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's easier to memorize it by numbers, where you do like, you just remember the first one, and then you memorize how many runs of each one before it swaps. So if it's like 2 rights, you remember 2, and if there's like 3 lefts after that, you remember 3, and if there's 1 right, you remember 1. I feel like it's way easier to remember. It's way fewer like instances of information, and I think numbers are easier to remember than left rights. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have thoughts. I feel like this is like I feel like we've never seen somebody kind of do something like that, but it's only been 2 seasons. So
yeah, I do think that would be a good way to do it. I was thinking they should just for the final just make it all one.
It's all the same, yeah. So
it'd be so funny.
Well, I mean that's the thing, right? Because like it is very luck based, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like Keanu was not great. It felt like Rachel was better at it than Keanu. And Keanu basically won because Riley choked and just kept on screwing up in the semifinals. And then in the finals, Keanu just like randomly guessed like half of them correctly right off of the bat. And just like, if you do that and you're not stupid, like you just win, right? If you just get way luckier. So
yeah, it does seem to be a luck thing more than anything, but and not panicking. That's the real thing.
God was. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's mostly not panicking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Riley also lost to be panicked.
Yeah.
But
I think the numbers is a good strategy. I think the left, right is good if like you're better at memorizing a pattern. Like, I guess that's getting into like if you're a math and science kid or are you an English major kind of kid.
You just combine them, right? Just 1 R, 3 L.
But
1 R,
I mean,
3 L, 2 L.
I'm watching the episode and I'm thinking like, I would just watch the other guy, like watch the other side.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
speed run it and hope that you get.
That's what I think Tucker did last year, right?
Yeah, I was like, just wait for them to screw up and then you know what the right answer is. But then you're playing with fire if they just guess right the whole way and then you're kind of screwed.
Which is like not possible.
Right. I mean, but I thought it was ballsy as hell for him to just, like slowly walk. Maybe he was just trying to memorize it better instead of just like running and getting himself hyped up. But
I think it was good for him to not panic. It's just like chill, just do it. All right, got something wrong. That's fine.
That was crazy. I mean, it's basically Squid Game, but
yeah, it's like the platform game. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then the reaction at the end. I think I'm kind of on team Keanu. Not even saying that because he's my winner pick, but I don't know. I think Ava very much overreacted, and I probably would have been kind of like, hello, if like I won a comp, no one claps, and everyone's just standing there with their jaws on the floor. It's like, hello, like.
Yeah, it is your job as the host to host the competition, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I agree from what we saw. Like, Keanu definitely came across better, which is why, like, the segment after where he was like crying and apologizing didn't really make a ton of sense. And like also the reaction in the house and the feeds, which is why I thought that it would be way worse, doesn't really make a ton of sense. Which is why, like, I do wonder if there was more that we didn't see to that like confrontation. Because if that's all we got, then like I don't really think that was that bad. That was like even less bad than what I thought, which was already like like kind of not that big of a deal. So yeah, this definitely feels. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just saying, right? Yeah, no,
yeah.
I totally agree with you. Like, there must be more, but if there's not, then Keanu did nothing wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they were, throwing shade at each other during the comp or something. But
I'm sure he was also a little bit like, okay, I'm a giant man. and I'm yelling at a very small girl, that might not look great on replay.
I was like,
I
what do
mean,
your clothes have to do with anything?
I guess, but like he also wasn't really yelling. Like that's why I was confused.
No, he really wasn't.
Because like the way that it was discussed in the house made it seem like he like yelled something like at least towards like in her direction, where it was more of like a like you got something for me, give me like the veto like that. That's kind of like the vibe I got from how it was discussed, where like he was just like amped up and like directed that amped up energy towards Ava, but like that wasn't even like what happened, right? Like he made what could be considered like a somewhat rude comment after like a like the rest of the house kind of no sold his win, and then Ava was the one who kind of like gave him the heat back. So like from what we saw, I don't even think like it looked it would have had that connotation at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, if
I get,
anything, he
Big
just
Brother Unlocked tomorrow. Maybe we'll get the uncut.
Well, they got a million things they got to cover on Big Brother Unlocked because like they did not do they didn't. Ashley and Mickey had like 3 separate fights and they showed none of them. And they're very important for like the like makeup of how this house is structured, especially with Ashley voting the way she did. Like obviously they can just play it off like they're mad because Ashley voted for Jimmy to stay, but like the context of those fights is like kind of meaningful. But again, they really undersold the Keanu conversation. They really oversold Vince's impact on the week at all. They've not shown any of the like 4 new alliances that have formed. So like they're just behind overall. So I don't know. Like they're gonna have to do a lot of work to like kind of piece together a narrative that isn't just like really like super basic or completely fabricated.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not the first time we've come out of a Big Brother week being like, that isn't really what happened, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, everything we talk about here is like not at all how I primarily just watch the show, and I'll catch feed snippets and catch like Twitter comments and updates here and there, but like it is a completely different story. I mean, granted, the outcome's always going to be the same, but like how we got here is like night and day.
Yeah. So I guess we can reset some of these alliances because like we have like a lot of it's kind of pertinent. We have the Peach Cobbler Alliance, which is Ashley, Mickey, and Will, which is a part of why the Mickey and Ashley kind of feuds end up happening, because Ashley is like criticizing Mickey's game move and saying it was bad, and kind of defending Jimmy, trying to get him to potentially stay in a vote. So that's kind of that. Then also later in the week, after Mickey and Ashley make up the second time, they bring in Ava as a 4th, and they call themselves Core 4. Completely unique Big Brother Alliance name that we haven't seen a million times.
Right.
So that's like this kind of new structure that Mickey's going to try to form to like weaponize them against Vince, basically. And then we had finally this trio of Zach, Vince, and Morgan that has existed for weeks. They've bandied about bringing in Mickey as a 4th so that they can actually like lock her down. After this HOH, they finally do bring her in as a 4th for real and name that alliance the Melting Pot, which is at least it's a new name, but yeah, that's kind of where things are currently sitting. On top of that, both Will and Ashley to a degree, but primarily Will, have been trying to pick up Keanu as a piece, and trying to like point him in a useful direction. Whether that's going to be successful or not is to be determined. I think that like trying to like as we said at the top of the show, trying to predict what Kiana would do with power is nigh impossible. But yeah, that's kind of where we have like the Vince Zach duo. Vince has Lauren. Zach also has Lauren. So that's kind of a trio. Morgan thinks that she's a trio with Zach and Vince, and that she is prioritized by them over Lauren. I would say that's probably not the case, but that's what she thinks. And then on top of that, Mickey has now become basically the fourth member of a 5-person, or the fifth member of a 4-person alliance. Which is not a great place to be. And she kind of, I think, knows it to a degree, which is why she's trying to set pieces up poorly to go after Vince.
It'll be interesting. I mean, does Rachel have anybody anymore?
She has Ashley to a degree.
Okay.
And Ava technically is still in a final 2 with her, but Ava also spent an enormous amount of time this week trying to burn Ashley and Rachel by extension to Mickey. So I don't really think that she has Ava anymore. I think at this point, Rachel has Ashley kind of, and that's it.
Yeah, from what you've seen, it just feels like Ava's recognizing how stuff is, going down. Is like, well, I'm not going down with the ship.
Yeah. Also, Ava, I think, legitimately is frustrated with Ashley for, I don't know, for, I guess, pointing out reality and Ava not liking it.
It's always tough when someone does that.
Yeah. I mean, Ashley is legitimately like we've gone over. Ashley has legitimate kind of social issues, I would say, and she does come off kind of annoying in conversations. But in this circumstance, most of what she's saying is correct, and people just are not happy with hearing uncomfortable truths being told to them.
No, I mean that's been throughout one history of real life, but two history of these kinds of shows. People will shoot the messenger, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, a lot of Ashley as the messenger being shot this week.
Yeah, very unfortunate for my winner pick. But we'll see. I think maybe she can adapt. We'll see. But it'll all really shake out on whoever wins this HOH, right?
Yeah, this is a huge HOH for determining the next X number of weeks in the season.
When do you expect we'll find out? Around
it is a knockout comp, which is theoretically quick. So maybe by midnight. We won't get feeds back until at least midnight, because they won't ever turn them back on until after the PST show has aired, which runs from 11 to 12 EST. So I would hope by 12:30 EST we have a result, but I also have thought that we should have gotten results for or feeds back and results earlier in previous weeks. And a lot of the times it's 1:30 to even up towards 3 a.m. Eastern that we really get feeds back. So I would not be encouraging people on the East Coast to be staying up unless they have nothing to do tomorrow to wake up for. And even still, a lot of the times I've stayed up and I find out the HOH result, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I want to watch some conversations, but I'm too exhausted to even engage, and then I pass out. And so it was literally just a worse situation than if I just gone to bed and woken up and found out who the HOH was. So,
and sometimes you might go to find out and go to bed mad. You don't want that.
Well, yes, that's what I did with Riley. I found out Riley's HOH. I went to bed upset, and then I woke up and I looked at my phone and I was like, oh my God, Mickey's HOH. What the hell?
That was very fun to wake up to, and then it was a nightmare. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Stay away from Etsy, the Etsy witches.
I saw an Etsy witch put a protection spell for Jimmy. Didn't work tonight, so hot chair right now for or hot seat rather for Etsy witches.
They're like genies, right? you wish for something bad, and then like, or you wish for like something good, and then they find a way to turn it into something bad.
Right. Oh man. So if they could put a spell for Rachel to be HOH, they'll be back on the cool throne. No more hot seat for Etsy Witches. We're reaching out to you. Where we
Yeah,
need
this is the final straw olive branch here. Make or break moment for the entire industry.
Oh man. We are such lunatics for engaging in the show for 3 months a year.
What are we doing?
Used to be 6, and then they canceled BB Can. So,
well, there's speculation that we're going to get a winter season of BBUS. So, whether that's BB Celeb 4 or whether that's something else or what, but
yeah. Are there Olympics this year? Is that why?
I believe that's the reason why.
Yeah, then 100% we're getting something.
Yep. So
reindeer games too.
We'll be here.
I would prefer reindeer games too. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do one last year. That was a missed opportunity. Now they've taken it off Paramount Plus, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that's probably a bad sign for them doing the reindeer games too. I think like if we're putting bets on the table, I would say Celebrity 4 is probably the most likely.
Yeah, but so holding out for OTT too.
Yeah, and another instance of them trying to erase it from history, and then everyone being like, "Well, where's the second season?" And then while CBS is like scrubbing all of the footage from the internet. Which is again unfortunate because OTT and reindeer games were both really fun. Like I enjoyed both of those, seasons of television for what they were, and it seems like the show or the network just hated them both, and it's like, why?
Listen, Pluto TV. What's the other free streaming service that people always talk about?
Freeform? No.
Maybe
Freeform, but I want to say Temu, but that's not it. That's the shopping thing, right?
I know what you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
Freevee? I don't know.
Freevee? No, there was another one too.
Tubi,
yeah. That's the one with the weird commercials, right?
I think so. But one of these, like, they take them off. See if you can license these seasons to put on your service.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, look, Nicole was just on the BB Unlocked 2 weeks ago, and she introduced herself and was introduced as the winner of BB Reindeer Games, a season of television that now we cannot easily watch. So
lost media.
Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, are we pretending it didn't happen, or are we acknowledging it but not allowing anybody to watch it?
Yeah, I just don't know. I gotta sign into my YouTube TV to see if I still have the recordings of it.
Yeah.
Those and keep them from becoming lost media.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, Paramount Plus. I wouldn't do that.
For personal consumption, not for, for spreading around.
Yeah. Right. It's the same as like having a VHS tape, right? Back in the day.
Yeah. It's like the, like the old weed laws where like you could grow it for your personal consumption, you just couldn't sell it,
Yeah. I wouldn't sell it. I just want to, get some hot cocoa in December and watch reindeer games. Is that so bad?
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
No, please don't.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird. I guess like I don't know. We talked about this with the traders, right? Like where we had this season-long arc with Brittany and Danielle, like that tied back to a storyline from Big Brother Reindeer Games, and it's like everyone's like, man, I really want to go watch this season of television that caused all of this drama that bled into the traders and impacted the entire run of the season, and then they're like, nope, can't watch it. We're gonna take it off. Ironically, literally like days before the traders was released. It's just like, I guess I don't know if it was petty or if it was just like coincidental timing, but yeah, very weird.
Hopefully no one was like me watching Australian Survivor season 1 and getting to like episode 22 of 24 and then they just take it off the service. That was horrible. Hopefully, no one was trying to watch reindeer games before the traders.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Anything else from this week? These episodes, the feeds, anything? You know, we obviously we hashed a lot of it on Monday, and
We
yeah.
got 3.5 hours of content for this week. Come on.
Yeah. So I think this is a fair time for us to have gone off on several tangents because we've already covered a bunch of what happened. And although there was a lot of chaos, it was kind of a frustrating and somewhat boring week in a lot of ways. So
yeah. Chad, what do you want to promote?
You can follow me on Twitter or X at the tag right here.
All right,
that's
Ben,
it.
same thing.
Yeah, you can follow me on Blue Sky if you want. I've been sharing or not. I don't really care.
Oh man. Well, you can follow the show on TikTok, making a lot of TikToks over there. Our main channel, We Eat Everything, just had a video about how Battlefield is kind of returning to basics of that franchise in sharp contrast to every other multiplayer shooter trying to become Fortnite, which, you know, having its own identity, probably a good thing, I think. And based on the beta numbers that came out today, yeah, I would say a very good thing. New channel, Wicked Scary, just put a new video about a possible Bigfoot sighting at Wachusett Mountain. I don't know if it's believable, but I reported on the story. So go see there for like some comedic urban legend paranormal cryptid videos. And yeah, other than that, Those Fake Nerds on TikTok and YouTube, and Wicked Good Sports on TikTok and YouTube, uploading on TikTok especially every day on those. So yeah, a lot of content. This has got to be something you like. I would imagine if you're this far into this, you like this. But yeah, if somehow you're watching this and you haven't watched our interview with Cam from earlier in the week, go do that. Thought it was really great. He gave us tons of great insight and a lot of behind the scenes info too, which I thought was very cool. So yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.